All right, a response has been needed for some time now to assertions from the traditionalist Christian world. I have nothing against Christians. I have a deep admiration and respect for authentic Christians. What bothers me in the world of Christianity is, first of all, inauthentic Christianity, but second of all, people who use Christianity in order to try to gain honor and respect and credit here in this world, who use spirituality against them. First of all, it's an insult to Christianity, and second of all, it is philosophically inconsistent. And as an amateur philosopher, someone who does this for the love of the thing itself, I am not a professional, I am an electrician, it is offensive in that regard. So when I say Christianity isn't masculine, I am not saying no Christians are masculine. There are plenty of examples of Christians who have been masculine. But Christianity does not own a monopoly on masculinity. Christianity is not the source of masculinity. And Christianity does not make men more masculine. I am making this video partially in direct response to Elliot Hulse and people like him. Men who were strong before they became Christian, who were strong before that and remain strong now. Christianity did not make them strong, and yet they feel this compulsion to give Christianity credit for every positive quality and aspect, and there's theological reasons for this. But the argument I want to make here is that Christianity is not masculine, so I may as well get into it. In order to understand the relationship between Christianity and masculinity, we have to understand these two things as they are, independent of each other, to see where the crossover would be. So the first question is, what is masculinity? I subscribe to Jack Donovan's school of thought on this. Jack Donovan believes that masculinity is a set of character qualities, tactical virtues that arose in our primordial past based on what men expected of each other. There are many, but the universal features of masculinity that apply to all societies in the world, all human societies, are, and perhaps beyond, are strength, courage, mastery, and honor. You might subscribe to this view, or you might not. You might say, no, masculinity has more to do with keeping your word. It might have moral connotations. It might have to do with being a father. You might believe making children is the most masculine thing any man can do, or being good at being a father, however refined you want to make that. But whatever your view is, when we call another man masculine, or someone else not masculine, we're talking about our evaluation of that man as a man. We're talking about him in terms of his manliness, and these are character qualities that are claims to esteem among men. You can be a good person in a way that is not masculine or feminine or effeminate. That is, we might say, amasculine. If you are a generous person, that is a good quality. Does it make you more masculine? No. Does it make you less masculine? No. It is independent of one's masculinity. And to conflate masculinity with any positive quality you wanted to give it would be to destroy the concept entirely. It would be to make nonsense of the term. Okay. And what I will say, whatever other beliefs you might have about what makes someone masculine, I will assert that without at least the core virtue of strength, you have lost an essential feature of masculinity. If a man is not strong, he is missing something core to what it means to be masculine. So that's masculinity. What is Christianity? What does it mean to be Christian? Now, I tried to spend some time exploring this in depth in my book on the subject, Holy Nihilism, the Moral and Spiritual Case Against Christianity. And that's available online. Anyone who asks for it, I will send a copy of for their reading if they like. But what I believe is that the essence of Christianity, the essence of the law, as it were, in Christianity, can be taken from Jesus. When a certain man asks him, Jesus, what is the most important law? What is the most important commandment? Jesus gives him two answers, but the first one is love the Lord your God with all of your heart, all of your mind, all your strength. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. Now this creates an apparent and interesting paradox that has a resolution. I won't get into that here. But the essence of Christianity is absolute and total devotion to God. This entails, among other things, a rejection of the opinion of others, including their opinions about our strength, our courage, our mastery, or our honor. It rejects honor entirely. One might even say that Christianity rejects virtue entirely, because virtue is a claim to some power of your own. Virtue is a claim that I have some positive qualities that are mine, that belong to me, that distinguish me from a non-virtuous person, and that I have in common with another person who might share this virtue, like strength. But Christianity holds that all positive features, all positive qualities, all possible character traits come from God. Apart from Him, we are empty vessels, weakness, illness, sin. In opposition to virtues as individuals, Christianity is opposed to masculinity. But Christianity is more direct than that. It is opposed to the one single core virtue of masculinity above all others. It is opposed to strength. Paul says, putting in the words, or quoting the scripture, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me. My power is made perfect in weakness. When I am weak, then I am strong. This is having it both ways. This is saying the glory that is masculinity belongs to God. Therefore, by definition, God is the essence of masculinity. But this is entirely logical sophistry. It is completely antithetical to what we would descriptively call masculinity in the real world. The embracing of weakness, meekness, suffering, poverty, illness, all of these things that we see in the Beatitudes, that we see persistently in Paul's preaching, is an advocation for the exact opposite of what is most universally ideal in manliness across all of society. This is not to say that Christianity is not prone to certain virtues. Forgiveness is a virtue. Patience is a virtue. Forbearance is a virtue. Christianity has virtues of endurance. If Christianity was a sport, it would be long-distance running. Christianity perhaps ought to be commended for this. This is not an effeminate quality to it, but it is not a masculine quality. And I'm very tired of hearing traditional Catholics and Orthobros who just converted in the last 2 years and barely are beginning to figure out what they're talking about. Talking as if Jesus is some kind of embodiment of masculinity. Masculinity is an earthly attribute. To care about one's masculinity is to care about the opinion of other men here on earth, which God, of course, enjoins Christians not to do. So, for any of you traditional Catholics, stop saying this. You have strong positions, you have strong arguments. This is not one of them. It makes you look foolish, and it guides people down the wrong path. It enjoins people to become Christians for the wrong reasons, as if becoming a Christian will solve their problems on earth. It won't. That's not what Jesus promises. Jesus doesn't promise that once you become Christian, your life will be easy. Your problems will be solved. You will become more masculine. You will have more glory among men. And it isn't incidentally true either, because the masculine man is the man who takes on responsibility. The Christian, the knight of faith from Kierkegaard, gives up responsibility to God and does as he is commanded. These are distinct and separate views of the world and views of the good life. Both are defensible in different ways. Both have their positive and negative qualities. Even true masculinity has its negative attributes. We arguably would not have had the blood feuds that led to modernism, civilization, and its benefits and troubles, were it not for the honor culture that led to those blood feuds in the first place. And that is an essential part of masculinity as well. So knock it off.